You are standing at the gates of Damascus. The smell hits you before anything else. Sweet, heavy, everywhere. Then you look up. 28 towers, not stone. 5 moments in history where your bloodline almost ended. Ranked. The Ice Age. Survival chance, 15%. From bad but survivable to you were never being born at all. 20,000 years ago, Earth decided winter needed to be taken more seriously. Ice sheets 2 miles thick buried Europe, Asia, and most of North America. Temperatures dropped 10 degrees Fahrenheit on average. Your morning routine looked like this. Wake up, don't freeze. Find something to eat that weighs more than you do and actively wants you dead. Come home. Repeat. The cave lion was not a metaphor. Panthera spelaea was one of the largest wildcats humans ever encountered, and it shared your neighborhood whether you invited it or not. The family in the next cave didn't make it through February. Nobody went to check on them until spring. And if the predators didn't finish you, a minor infected cut could. No antibiotics, no doctors, just herbs, hope, and whatever your immune system felt like doing that morning. Humans adapted anyway, invented tools, controlled fire, painted on cave walls, which suggests that even while slowly starving in frozen darkness, someone thought art was worth the effort. Uncomfortable to live through, technically survivable. The dawn of agriculture. Survival chance, 25%. 10,000 years ago, someone had an idea that sounded brilliant and turned out to be complicated. What if food came to us instead of the other way around? What if we stayed in one place? What if we built something permanent? So humanity settled down and immediately made everything worse. Living in dense, permanent settlements meant diseases could move between humans in ways nomadic life never allowed. Your diet collapsed overnight. Less protein, more grain. One bad drought, one swarm of locusts arriving at exactly the wrong moment. One poorly timed flood. And your entire village starved before winter ended. Children stopped growing properly. Women died younger. Average height dropped by 4 inches. Teeth rotted through by 30. Bone density collapsed from malnutrition. Your hunter-gatherer ancestors were physically larger, healthier, and better fed. Agriculture made civilization possible. It made your body worse first. Toba Supervolcano. Survival chance, 2%.
74,000 years ago, a volcano in Sumatra decided to end the experiment early. 670 cubic miles of ash launched into the atmosphere. Sunlight disappeared for up to a decade. Not cloudy, gone. Global temperatures collapsed. Every ecosystem that took millions of years to build started dying within months. No animals, no crops, no sound except wind over dead ground. The man next to you is on the floor. He cut his hand 3 days ago. That's all it took. Humanity may have been reduced to only a few thousand survivors. That's not a city. That's a small office building. Every language ever spoken, every war ever fought, every idea humanity ever had, descended from fewer survivors than fit in a single apartment complex. And yet, those stubborn humans refuse to stop. Your entire existence traces back to that decision.
Tamerlane. Survival chance, 5%.
1,401. You are standing at the gates of Damascus. The smell hits you before anything else. Sweet, heavy, everywhere. 100,000 bodies left in the sun have a specific scent. You don't forget it. Then you see the towers. Not towers of stone, towers of skulls. 28 of them, stacked neatly at the city gates like someone was keeping count. Someone was. Same speed, same calculation. Zero mercy as a matter of policy. His horse archers moved faster than cities could send for help. By the time word arrived that he was coming, he was already there. Damascus fell in days. His name was Tamerlane. The survivors faced a choice that wasn't really a choice. Death or slavery in Samarkand. If you were a skilled craftsman, an architect, a mason, a calligrapher, Tamerlane's men pulled you from the bodies and loaded you onto a cart heading east. Your hands were worth more than your freedom. Back in Samarkand, he was building a mosque. The marble came from palaces he destroyed. The builders came from cities he emptied. He looked at a mountain of skulls and saw the foundation for a temple. Historians cannot agree on the number of dead. They agree it was catastrophic. Damascus never recovered its former status. Some cities he touched simply stopped existing. And in Samarkand, the Bibi Kanu Mosque still stands today. beautiful, enormous, built by hands that had nowhere else to go.
The Black Death. Survival chance, 7%.
1347. A ship arrives in Sicily carrying cargo nobody ordered. Within weeks, the surrounding towns start going quiet. Yersinia pestis, carried by fleas on rats. Nobody knew what caused it. Nobody knew how to stop it. You could catch it from a handshake, a shared cup, sometimes through the air. Nobody understood the difference. Symptoms arrived fast and left no ambiguity. Fever, swollen lymph nodes the size of eggs beneath the skin, vomiting blood. Then death, typically within days of the first sign anything was wrong. Between 30 and 60% of Europe's entire population died. Entire villages emptied permanently. Economies that took centuries to build collapsed in months. Physicians walked through infected streets in long robes and bird-shaped masks stuffed with flowers and herbs. The leading medical theory of the 14th century was that bad smells caused disease, and pleasant smells would reverse it. They did not reverse it. Nothing did. Cities stopped counting the dead because the people doing the counting kept dying too. Gravediggers became the most important profession in Europe. Then gravediggers started dying. Entire monasteries emptied overnight. Courts dissolved. Supply chains collapsed. And the worst part wasn't the dying. It was not knowing when it stopped, or whether surviving meant you were lucky, or just hadn't been reached yet. You exist because someone endured Ice Age winters without the equipment that would have made it manageable. Because someone outlasted famine and watched an empty field and kept going. Because someone survived volcanic winter when almost nobody did. Because someone was not standing in Damascus in 1401. Because someone outlasted a plague that killed half the continent. None of them knew they were keeping your bloodline alive. They were just refusing to stop on days when stopping would have been easier. Statistically, you were never supposed to happen. Here you are anyway. Subscribe before history gets another opportunity to correct that.